Welcome back, guys. Nick here. This is going to be another Sunday Market Blitz review. So at the end of the week, we review all the analyses that we gave to you guys on Sunday, which is the pre-market analysis. So we're here to see how we did, how these trades played out, or how these trade setups played out, and essentially how accurate we were, right? So we're going to start off with DXY, make our way through the rest of these pairs, and kind of just comment on the way. Okay, so here's DXY. We start the same way on the Sunday Market Blitz. We like to cover the dollar, see what the dollar's doing. It is a reserve currency, so when there is serious volume coming out of the dollar, you'll normally see that reaction on other major pairs, and sometimes even crosses or pairs that aren't even including the dollar. It has that much of an effect. So it's good to understand what it's doing, analyze it, and then give us a little bit more edge into the market on a weekly basis. So here was DXY Sunday of last week. We had seen a recent rally all the way up to our resistance level at 97.25. We were stalling a bit, but overall we saw we're a bit overextended. However, it was still primarily bullish. So we were looking for the next, structure forming higher low. Now we knew there was a lot of news. So towards the end of the week, we wanted to kind of, be off the charts, be a little more passive, let things play out because we were expecting a bunch of volume this week. But overall, we knew it was kind of due for a pullback. So this was the trade path, trade scenario 1, the most likely. But if this continued to rally, we were really looking for a significant break of resistance with a confirmed higher low above. Okay, that would then give us enough confidence to say that this is going to continue higher. Okay, nice break and retest action. So let's see how it played out. Okay, came back all the way to our zone, 96.35, saw a very minor reaction. Then it fell back into this range. Again, minor reaction. This thing was on a mission. It was just absolutely dumping and, news related as well. So we are below this level here, 95.8. We're below this trend line. It is overextended here now for a, bearish push. So we really need to see some next lower high points. We're going to have a new analysis this Sunday, pretty much remarking this whole chart, showing you guys the potential, both bearish if this is going to continue lower, or and bullish if this is going to, break back into this range, start making some, movements higher. Okay, but overall, we just need to see a little bit more. I'm zooming out a little bit here to show you guys this prior range, how significant of an area this has been for price action, right? And to see us moving through it pretty effortlessly over here, and then again on the bearish side, is very telling. This thing has momentum, obviously, so we got to be patient and really make sure we get the right side of the market, whichever way it goes. Okay, so again, next week, this Sunday, we'll have 2 new analyses, looking at DXY here. So let's move over to AU, our first tradable pair, and this was the analysis again from this past Sunday. We had saw that price action was pretty bearish here. We're a bit overextended. We're resting right at this monthly at 0.7. We're expecting some sort of pullback. We wanted to spot that next lower high in this sequence, right? That's what we need to see. That'd be a nice area at 0.71 to spot some sort of rejection, lower high, potential entries to the downside. Okay, now same thing that we saw in DXY. If this were to continue falling, we really want to see it clear the support level, get down to this level, pull back, then form a lower high, a nice structure forming a lower high below 0.7 to then give us confidence to look at short positions. So let's see how this played out. Okay, so again, we have a little bit of knowledge from DXY. We know what DXY did, and if you guys know that they're inversely correlated, AU and DXY, the dollar dropped. Naturally, AU would push up to some extent. And that's what we saw here. Pushed up, we formed a bit of a double top. Price action's coming back down now, but not really where we wanted to see the next lower high in the sequence. I really would have liked to see it below this resistance level, more confluence, higher probability trade. But that just didn't happen, obviously. We had a lot of influence here. So what's the next step, right? We're looking for lower highs. This trade path is still pretty much valid, looking for that next lower high below 0.71, and then we can consider shorts to the downside towards lower support levels. Okay, so again, this Sunday, we'll have 2 new trade paths. I'll go over this with you guys in detail, and we'll get an idea as to what next week will look like. Okay, so let's move on to AJ here. This was pretty bearish as well. Nice, steady channel here. Very easy to see what we need to happen to then enter positions here, both short positions and long positions. So naturally, the highest probability was with the trend. So we're looking for the next lower high right in this pocket of confluence below 81.5 resistance. And then, with this trend line, this would be a really nice area to continue this channel. Okay, so that's where we're looking, trying to spot some lower highs there, nice entry opportunities, and then we could target lower towards major support levels. If price action failed to continue with this bearish channel, we were looking for a break of 81.5 and ideally, this lower high right here, because this is a significant level. This was the first retest of 81.5 after it broke. It held, so we'd really like to see that break and then, a higher low above. That would give us confidence to go long. So let's see how it played out. Okay, pushed up, not too aggressively, good volume, pretty steady. So there's the break right here. Here's the retest. Didn't follow through, although there is some decent conviction there. We stalled a little bit, got a bearish engulfing, came back down to test 81.5. So this trade path is still valid. We're looking for strong conviction off this level to then enter long. That's really all we need to see at this point for this next week to target higher. But, we got to see. Right now, when you see a break in retest followed by indecision or, lack of trend, that's not a good sign. That's showing that this isn't a super strong break in continuation, to the upside. Not a great sign, but, could still happen. We'll see. Just need to see a little bit more. But if this does fall lower, we'll be looking short again, with the overall, higher time frame trends. So yeah, we'll have more to say about that Sunday. But that's looking pretty good. AJ for next week. Okay, so let's take a look at UJ here. Let's jump over to this one, right? This was at the bottom of my list last Sunday, but this is what we were looking at, right? We saw a recent rally. Price action closed up here. Again, bit overextended. We need to see the first structure forming higher low, which would be right at 115 and our 38.2 fib level. Good confluence right there. So this was an area that seemed pretty ideal for a higher low, and then we could potentially enter long, target higher towards prior highs and negative fib levels. If price action came back below 115, we'd be looking at it differently, looking for lower highs, and then maybe a target lower. But either way, what I was saying about UJ last week is it's not clean structure, right? We've been getting a lot of impulse moves, lack of structure, just not what you want to see for what we would consider a perfect trade entry, right? It just hasn't been there, unfortunately. UJ is usually one of my favorite pairs, but it just wasn't really showing us anything in the last few weeks. So this was kind of refreshing. I mean, this looked like one of the best setups I've seen in a few weeks here on UJ. So I was pretty excited for this. But again, it didn't have my hopes up too high because of what we've seen recently. And, it's going to take a lot to kind of go back to normality to some degree. Now, we also did know news was last week, so that wasn't really helping UJ's case. So again, it was at the bottom of my list. We really just wanted to see how things played out, but we were aware of what we needed to see. So that's these two trade paths here. So let's see how it played out. Okay, so no reaction at 115, not what we wanted to see, right? Total failure right there at that level. Price action fell instead right down to 114.15, hit the 78.6, and then came back from there. So now we're poking just above 115. Still need to see that higher low to confirm this is bullish. But for right now, all we can do is wait, right? We need to see more. Yeah. So, I mean, this does look like a nice little bullish channel now. So maybe we could get some conviction here. Either way, just need more information. But yeah, that's the reason why UJ is so far on my list. It's just been hard to read. Not really something you want to be trading right now. There's better pairs, better setups to be working with. So let's move over to EJ, which is one of those better setups. Very bearish recently, but we did see a bit of consolidation as we just poked below 129 support, tested as new resistance in this consolidation. So it made it very easy for us to see what we need to happen. When price action is moving sideways, break-in retests are your best friend, right? So we see a little bit of consolidation to continue lower with this bearish trend on this time frame, lower high, right? That's what we need to see. We need to break this minor level right here, get a lower high, boom, we're short if the confirmations are there, right? So like bearish variations, engulfings, evening stars, stuff like that. That's what you need to see right here for us to gain that confidence to enter short. Okay, the opposite's true for the long position. Need to see 129 cleared again, nice break above, confirmed higher low above. Then we would consider long opportunities into 130 resistance, maybe higher depending on what we're seeing. Okay, so that was the idea Sunday. Let's see how it played out. Okay, obviously news hit. That's what all this extra volume is. But at first, it was following the trade path, right? Went with trade path 2, popped above, retested, even gave us a nice engulfing here on the 4-hour. So I know there's entries, right? This one actually did play out pretty well. And you would have targeted the prior highs as your absolute max target beyond 130. And, obviously it hit that. But again, crazy speculation. This thing kind of just rocketed into profit if you had taken this position and would have blown out any target you had. That's not good. Let me just charge this real quick. So absolutely took off, and it gave us a great break and retest. So went with trade path 2. But yeah, I mean, we knew the news was coming. So, you want to be careful around news. Even if your analysis is, perfect, things can still happen. Things can still get sent the wrong way. So, I mean, this is a bit of an exaggerated trade. Obviously, the thing took off, covered. I mean, how many pips? This is 132, 300 pips roughly. That's insane, right? That's obviously not normal market movement for EJ, right? The daily movement's only so many pips. So to see 300, in a few hours is pretty nuts. Definitely abnormal, but that's what news brings. So EJ went with trade path 2, pretty good, pretty good. Let's wrap this up with gold. Okay, so this one fell back into the range. We were looking pretty bullish here. This was a nice little flag pattern, higher low formation, definitely hinting at a break of resistance at 1825. That's what we saw. Then we got a nice little double top. Didn't follow through with the conviction to confirm, this was a break, higher low, continuation to the upside. We didn't see the conviction, so it just didn't follow through. Definitely could have got some people off guard. It's a nice engulfing, good little conviction candle, but didn't really make it above this area here at 1850, right? More or less double top, came back down, crashed through 1825, and then finally rested at 1785, right? The bottom of the range. If you look to the left, this is where we've seen a lot of reaction in the past. So we were a little skeptical. The most likely thing is that it was going to continue to range. So we'd see price action push back up. Our targets would be at 1825, very moderate trade, playing the range, not being greedy, not overextended to, highs or anything, just playing the range. So that was the most likely. However, if this, recent bearish push right here had more momentum, we were looking for it to clear 1785 entirely, hopefully get down to 1760 area, pull back for lower high, and then continue lower. Okay, that's what we really need to see, because there's just so much volume here. It's due for a pullback. So this had to push lower and then pull back for a lower high for us to consider this, strongly bearish, something we could enter on. Okay, so let's see how this played out. Okay, again, I mean, we already know, I keep saying this, the dollar dropped, so, gold's pushing up. If you guys know correlation, you would have seen that already, but, that's what happened. It's continuing to range. Even with the dollar dumping, this didn't have the bullish volume that you kind of would have expected, more or less flat lining here. Okay, so we're getting some wicks, some choppiness, some random engulfings all over the place. So it's decided to continue with the range. Not much here. You could have taken a long opportunity here, but you more or less would have got a little bit of drawdown, maybe break even if you moved your stops up. Either way, it's not really developing into much, but most likely, again, it's going to keep ranging until we get to either resistance or support, and then we'll draw up these two analyses, planning either a continuation of the range or a break of the range. So that's all we got for now. We're going to have to reanalyze Sunday, wait for the market to show us something, and just keep following. But yeah, that's trading. That's how it goes. So pretty good week. I covered these 6 for you guys. Again, these are put out every Sunday on the Sunday Market Blitz. It's a live session with Angelo and I. We'll break down all these charts, answer any questions live. It is recorded, so it's posted on YouTube. But yeah, it's really valuable, guys. I mean, a lot of our traders use these throughout the week compared to their own analysis. Sometimes they even follow these trades, and they're pretty accurate for the most part, because these aren't forecasting analyses, right? We're showing you what we need to see to happen for us to be interested in a trade. And often those are the safest. So a lot of break and retest opportunities, lower highs, higher lows, looking for those first entry opportunities, continuations of trend. But yeah, so we'll be covering this again Sunday, guys. So stick around, then join us, and I'll see you guys then. Until then, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Peace.